In the off-season, Aaron spent half of the year doing media work for the Bassmaster Elite Series. Attending all these events, he got to know several of the anglers and became close friends with many, one of them being Luke Palmer. Aside from fishing, Luke enjoys hunting his family ground back in Oklahoma. Hunting was always a part of their conversations, and before long, it turned into an invite to come down and do some hunting. It's funny how life happens, but it almost always comes down to having connections.
It is December 10th. Brent and I just finished up down here on his Iowa farms, getting ready for late muzz here in a couple weeks. Moved cameras around, stand, set some blinds, and now we are en route to my buddy's place. Luke was nice enough to invite us down, hunt his place for the next week down in Oklahoma. So we're super excited. He's got quite a bit of ground, and he's been running cameras for us pretty much all fall, but this is like the first time that we could really get down here with our schedule. So we're gonna eat some jacks, and we only got about like 7.5 hours from here, and we'll be there. So we're gonna hit the road, and we'll see you in Oklahoma. Here's our humble abode for the next 5 days. Nice little spot. So we're gonna unpack, chill for a little while. All right, it is morning of December 11th. We slept in, got some good sleep last night. Luke got in like 4 o'clock this morning. He had some fishing stuff to do all week. Had a long drive himself. Pretty excited to get in a blind or a tree this afternoon. Weather's perfect. Yesterday was like 80s. Today's only like a high of low 50s, so like a 30-degree temperature change. So these deer should move tonight. We just gotta pick the right spot. So we're gonna run to town, get some breakfast, and then come back, shoot some bow. We are finally in a blind here in Oklahoma, and just sitting in an absolute beautiful spot here. My buddy Luke Palmer was nice enough to invite us down and have free reign of his whole property here for the next 5 days. And it's just an awesome looking property. He's been running cameras all fall and getting some good inventory. There's a couple of really nice bucks here, and they've kind of just been hitting all these different spots. He's got like 5 different spots picked out for us, and these bucks are just, they're still on that back end of the rut down here, and they're still cruising and bumping toes and hitting these spots. So pretty much just gotta hope we get lucky and one messes up at the spot we're at. So we're sitting in the spot tonight overlooking this wheat field. Had a really nice buck in here, actually broad daylight this morning at like 9 o'clock. He looked like he went off into this thick bedding area here, so with any luck, we can get him to come back out and feed in here. Frustrating evening. Pretty sweet evening though. It almost worked way too easy. Luke said he was going to put us on deer, but I didn't think it was going to happen in like 45 minutes of us being here. But that deer we went in there after worked up the edge of that field just perfect.
but Brennan and I are kind of talking back and forth in the blind that we wanted them in a certain spot. And of course, every other deer had gone through that gap, and this deer didn't want to go through that gap. Day 1, Oklahoma, pretty sweet. Hopefully tomorrow we can kill one. But until then, we're gonna drink Busch Light. Yep, hey. Just got done with lunch, which was bomb. Luke's mom made some awesome burgers. Now Luke's riding on the back of the truck. We gotta drop him off. He's gotta do some ranching yet today. And then we're gonna go pull that card where we sat last night, see what that deer did, and then come up with a game plan from there.
Alright, night number 2, Oklahoma. Last night we had just an awesome night in the blind, which is literally right over my shoulder across the other side of this food plot. Had our number 1 buck come right through just like we wanted him to, but everything just didn't line up with filming and trying to get the shot off and stuff. So it didn't work. He never knew we were there. He never was buggered. We elected to sleep in, let him do his thing. Sure enough, it was broad daylight right there in front of that blind again. Bad news was we didn't have the wind to hunt that blind. So all we did was bucked across the plot, got in this tree, and it's not an ideal wind as far as it's kind of blowing into a bedding area, but where he's coming from is not that bedding area. So we're banking that he's gonna come the same way he did last night, and it's where he went this morning. So fingers crossed he comes out again tonight, and if he does, he's in trouble. We're gonna sit tight here. It's about 2:30, so we got right a little over 3 hours till dark. Walking through the cedars. Pretty sure I hard shot him, dude. You gonna go down? He's just pouring. Well, that was a roller coaster there. That deer probably stepped out, I don't know, well, about 40 minutes ago. And he slowly made his way. I let him get a perfect quartering away. I don't know, 18, 19 yards. Put it right in his crease and let it go. Brennan thinks it hit just a little low, but we watched him run probably 90 yards. And it kind of dips off over a hill there. But he was just pouring out both sides of him. I mean, he stopped and it looked like his tail was tucked and he doing that whole head bob, something opening. He's tipped over right there in the woods. Incredible deer. I haven't been worked up on a deer like that in a long time. I'll probably call Luke and let him know what's going on. Fingers crossed. I mean, my first initial thought was I hammered him, but Brennan thinks it might be a little low, so we're gonna look back at the footage and see what we think. The blood looked good.
Let's go get these here.
Okay.
Let's go get
Let's
it.
go get him.
When we're ready to come up to there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, he's
Definitely. That's where he went.
yeah. He's right there dead, dude. Oh, yeah, buddy. Well, it is December the 12th. Finally let an arrow fly for the fall. It's been a grind of a season. Between Brennan and I, we've traveled all over the place. Got the invite from a really good buddy of mine, Luke Palmer, to come down and hunt his family ground down here in Oklahoma. And we talked about it for the last probably 7-8 months, and was just waiting to come down here and get a chance to hunt. And he had everything set up just perfect. And we came down, we actually just started hunting yesterday and had a super awesome hunt with this deer. We had him at like 20 yards and things just didn't line up the way we wanted them to. So we watched him walk off and actually just set up straight across from where we were yesterday. And sure enough, he came out, presented me a 20-yard shot quartering away, and we weren't sure on the shot right away, but he didn't make it 15 yards farther than where we lost footage of him. So a huge shout out to Luke for letting me come down here and hunt his family ground, and big shout out to Brennan. He's been traveling with me all fall, and he's always there ready to rock and roll. What a deer, what a hunt, and to get to do it with some awesome buddies right here, it's gonna be a good one.
Tequila!
Tequila! We're just gonna set that over there because otherwise this night's gonna get out of hand. Tonight's strictly a doe mission. Luke wants one more for the freezer, so we were in town, figure what the heck. We've seen her snow plowing, so pretty sure she's not very far.
The strongest friendships usually form when you meet someone who has a passion for something as strong as you do. It's pretty dang cool to be able to appreciate what Luke does in the fishing industry, much like he respects what we do in the hunting industry.